His Excellency, the EU Ambassador to Nigeria and ECHO, Directors of INEC, other management staff of the Commission, other members of the delegation, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We welcome you all, esteemed guests, to the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission. And I assure you that this visit is duly appreciated. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed further with today's engagement, permit me to formally acknowledge and introduce dignitaries present in this hall.
You are on live to GTV Africa from Abuja. Today, Chief Observer of AGU, visiting INEC Chairman.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you the chief host of this delegation. It is the distinguished chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahood. A hearty round of applause. The honorable chairman is not alone in this noble task. He is supported by honorable national commissioners whose presence I will also acknowledge in no particular order. We have here present Professor Rhoda Harbour-Gomez. One round of applause for her. We have here also Honorable National Commissioner Professor Abdullahi Abdul-Zul. A round of applause. You're welcome, sir. We have also Professor Sami Muhammad Adam S.A. A round of applause. You're welcome, sir. We have also Mr. Sam Olumekun NNI. A round of applause. You're welcome, sir. We have here also Dr. Ken Ukago. A round of applause. You're welcome, sir. Also in attendance is the Secretary to the Commission. She is Dr. Mrs. Rose Oriaron Anthony, FNIPR. A round of applause. You're welcome. Also present are the technical aides for the Honorable Chairman. We have Professor N.J. Buna. He is a special advisor to the Honorable Chairman. A round of applause. We have also Professor Bakolade Enuna, who is the Chief Technical Advisor to the Honorable Chairman. Welcome. Also in attendance are the directors of the Commission. You're all welcome. Now to our esteemed guests. I'd like to specially introduce our esteemed guests, beginning with the leader of the team. He is His Excellency, Member of European Parliament and Chief of Mission, European Union Follow Mission. He is His Excellency, Mr. Barry Andrew. A round of applause for him. We have also His Excellency, the EU Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS. He is Mr. Gauthier Vignon. A round of applause, please. You're welcome. We have Mr. Ralph Michael Peters. He is an election expert and team lead. A round of applause. You're welcome, please. Again, we have Ms. Erini Maria Gunari. She is an election legal expert. You're welcome, ma'am. We have again Mr. Maros Gabriel. He is an election administration expert. You're welcome. A round of applause. We have again Ms. Laolu Olamumi. She is a program manager, Democracy and Rule of Law, EU delegation. You're welcome. A round of applause. And then we have Mr. Ruben Alba Aguilera. He is a team leader, EU delegation. A warm round of applause for our esteemed guests. You're welcome to the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission. At this juncture, and with the kind permission of the Honorable Chairman INEC, I would like to respectfully invite His Excellency, Member of the European Parliament and Chief of Mission, EU Follow Mission, Mr. Barry Andrews, to provide more insights to these visits. So,
Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody. Honourable Professor, Honourable Commissioners, Ambassador, colleagues from the European Union, friends, and ladies and gentlemen of the media. It's a huge honour to be back in Nigeria. I was appointed Chief Observer for the European Election Observation Mission by the High Representative Vice President Borrell in 2023. Following an invitation from INEC to the European Union to establish an election observation mission for the 2023 general election. And in terms of scale, not just financial, but personnel, it was one of the largest ever European Union election observation missions, which I think reflects the importance of the relationship between the European Union and Nigeria, but also the importance of Nigeria, not just in the region, but internationally. And we were very much delighted to take up the invitation for the 2023 general election, having done so at every general election since 1999. So we're really delighted to have taken up that invitation. So now we are following up, which is the traditional pattern for election observation. And we are here for the last, I'm only here since this morning, but my team have been deployed here for the last 3 weeks and will remain for a further week as part of this electoral observation mission. So what we are here to do is to look at the recommendations that flowed from the overall mission that were contained in the final report of the mission back in 2023. And we are very happy to see that there has been very significant progress against these recommendations. We recognize that there are certain time constraints, both in terms of judicial reform, as well as administrative reform, and of course, constitutional reform, which is somewhat more difficult. But we are making all of these recommendations against international standards that the EU, that Nigeria, that most countries have signed up to, and so we are part of an overall international election observation ecosystem that has really served to buttress democracy, to support democracy, not just here in Nigeria, not just in Africa, but across the world, and Europe as well. And I'm happy to say, as an Irishman, we've had Nigerian election observation teams in Ireland for our presidential election. We welcome them, we warmly welcome them and their constructive observations. And we are here in that same spirit, Professor, as part of our follow-up mission. So, INEC has obviously carried out its own review of the 2023 elections, and we're looking forward to hearing what you have to report on the recommendations and the follow-up implementation of those recommendations since 2023. There are specific areas that require legislative action that I referred to in my opening comments. And we'd be delighted as a team to hear from you about what progress has been made and what concerns you have about obstacles in the future, and particularly around constitutional change, which is obviously a little bit more difficult. There have been off-cycle governorship elections in the meantime since 2023, so we'd be keen to hear what changes were applied for those elections. And again, just to hear from you about what steps have been taken and can be taken to improve transparency around the publication of results, which is part of our recommendations. So with that, I once again, on behalf of our small team, we're really grateful for the invitation and cooperation with INEC, which has been outstanding over the last few weeks. To thank our own EU delegation for facilitating our visit as well, and to thank the Commission for hosting us this morning for this exchange. Thank you very much.
Your own life to GTV Africa. Julian has just given a word to INEC chairman, and a few minutes, INEC chairman will be giving his own side communication, his voice to the visitor. And
At this
few
point,
minutes,
may I again respectfully
just
invite the
join
Honorable Chairman of the
INEC
Commission,
chairman as he
Professor
speak.
Mahood to formally welcome our esteemed guests and respond to the remarks by His Excellency, Mr. Barry Andrew. Honorable Chairman.
Okay. I hope you can all hear me. It's fine? Okay. The head of the EU follow-up mission and member of the European Parliament, Mr. Barry Andrews, the EU ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Gautier Mignon, the team lead, and other experts on the follow-up mission, other officials of the European Union delegation to Nigeria, national commissioners of INEC, other senior officials of the Commission, the chairman and members of the INEC press corps. Mr. Andrews will be glad to hear that as a commission we have one of the most vibrant INEC press corps, one of the most vibrant press corps in the country. We have over 100 media organizations represented on the INEC press corps, and they have been wonderful people covering our activities, whether they're electoral or election. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome the European Union Election Observation Follow-up Mission to Nigeria. In the tradition of the European Union, the head of the Election Observation Mission also leads the follow-up mission ahead of the next general election, basically to monitor the implementation of the EU recommendations halfway between the last and the forthcoming general election. This is the third time that the present Commission is receiving such a mission. I recall that in 2017, we received Mr. Santiago Fisas, who led the EU Election Observation Mission to Nigeria's 2015 general election. Similarly, in 2022, we hosted Maria Arena, who led the EU Election Observation Mission to Nigeria in 2019. Today, we are glad to receive Mr. Barry Andrews, who led the EU mission to the 2023 general election. In 2019, the EU Election Observation Mission made 30 recommendations, out of which 11 were specifically addressed to INEC. 3 of them were classified as priority recommendations, while 8 were considered as general recommendations. By comparison, your 2023 report made 23 recommendations, out of which 8, that is 34.8%, require action by INEC, of which only 1 recommendation is listed as priority. The remaining 15 recommendations, that is 65.2%, out of which 5 were categorized as priority, require action by the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, political parties, and multiple stakeholders such as civil society organizations, the media, and professional bodies. The Commission has carefully considered all the 8 recommendations specifically addressed to us in your report. Action has been taken on aspects of the recommendations that only require administrative action to implement. Similarly, action is being taken on cross-cutting recommendations that require collective action between INEC and other bodies and stakeholders, while waiting for the conclusion of the ongoing legal review by the National Assembly on the recommendations that require legislative intervention. To this end, the Commission has prepared a detailed response to each of the 8 direct observations, which we shared with you at this meeting. If time permits later, when we go into the working session, we can go over each of the recommendations as suggested by Mr. Andrews. I must add that your recommendations, along with similar reports from other national and international election observers, were the subject of wide-ranging consultations with critical institutions and stakeholders during our own review of the 2023 general election. The review report contains 142 recommendations for electoral reform. In addition, the Commission has published our main 2023 general election report over a year ago. The main report for the election, as well as our review reports, are already available from our website. As you are aware, election is a process governed by law. Many of your recommendations require the review of our electoral laws or the Constitution of Nigeria. For this reason, the Commission has interfaced with our National Assembly, including a retreat with the Joint Committee on Electoral Matters, the Senate and the House committees, way back in April in Lagos. On this note, I would like to appeal to the National Assembly for an expeditious consideration of the electoral reform proposal. An early passage of the law is critical to our planning for elections. Uncertainty over the legal framework for the election can unsettle the work of the Commission as election draws near. For instance, the Commission cannot conclude work on the regulations and guidelines for elections unless and until the law is passed. Similarly, we cannot proceed with a manual to govern the training of election duty officials unless there is clarity and certainty on the electoral legal framework. I'm confident that the National Assembly is working on that. So we look forward to the next EU election observation mission for the 2027 general election. As you are aware, and as you said, Mr. Andrews, international election observation missions are deployed on the invitation of INEC. I want to reassure you that we'll continue to engage with you. Very soon, the Commission will send out invitations to the European Union, as well as the Commonwealth, the African Union, and ECOWAS for the 2027 general election. We believe that the recommendations arising from your observation of our election and electoral process help to improve the quality of our elections and electoral activities. Let me once again welcome you to the Commission and welcome you to Nigeria. And let me also appreciate the support of the European Union through the EU support to democratic governance in Nigeria. I want to assure the EU ambassador that we will continue to deepen this partnership. So I thank you very much for coming on this follow-up mission, and we'll discuss more when we go into the working session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. The next is the signing of the visitors register.
We're home to GTV Africa live from INEC office in Abuja. Many believe that INEC chairman is not going to be on seat, but luckily, he's still serving his responsibility as expected from where he's supposed to do his job. Today, Chief EU observer, are paying us a visit to the INEC chairman right in his office. I'm Professor Mahood. See them. working section will commence very soon, and it might not be available to the press, but the little that we have opportunity to bring to you, you have benefit of seeing them. This is GTV Africa bringing to you feed from INEC headquarters in Abuja, and I'm giving that Olami bringing this to you. Activities with the rounding off for the opening section of this, and the working section with currencies between them. But I must let you know that the INEC chairman, Professor Yakub Mahood, is still in the office doing his job as expected. Is current INEC chairman right in the office. Well, till I come your way again for another activities. My name is Bemiga Olami.
We appreciate your presence.
Peace be
At this
unto
moment,
you.
can you please go down and hold on a while for a brief technical session to be held, after which members of the delegation as well as members of the commission will come downstairs at the foyer for a group photograph. Thank you.